So it's time for me to introduce our first slammer, Dr. Ben Littlefield. As I said, Ben has kindly agreed to be our warm-up act. So you don't have to vote for him. He's here to show you how it should be done. So no pressure on Ben. I've got a little biography and a brief intro that each slammer has given me to read out, so I shall do that. So if we start off with Ben, Ben is a chemist and a science communicator from the University of Reading. He strongly believes in engaging with the public, with cutting-edge research, and regularly delivers exciting demonstration lectures across the country. His background's in chemistry, and his PhD was in hydrogen storage materials. Between travelling around schools and science festivals to promote the University of Reading, he somehow finds time to run, shoot clay pigeons, and read sci-fi novels. Ben's slam is intriguingly titled The Unfortunate Carl Wilhelm Scheele, and he's asked me to introduce it thus. There are countless famous scientists whose lives and achievements we draw inspiration from. Einstein's theory of relativity, Ada Lovelace's pioneering programming, and Humphrey Davy's elemental bonanza, to name but a few. These scientists have become giants, present in dinner table conversation, and whose shoulders we most certainly stand upon. But what about the others? The multitude of lesser-known pioneers, whose tales are equally important for the progress of humanity. This slam aims to illustrate one of these unsung explorers and divulge the lessons from his life. So if I can invite Ben onto the stage. And as for everybody else, Ben's time will start on Dr. Hillary's bell.
Thank you very much, Harry. Good evening, everyone. So science, like most things in life, can be distilled down into a series of stories about people, about their hopes, their dreams, their desires, their mishaps, and their accomplishments. It's often mentioned that we stand on the shoulders of giants, and we regularly celebrate the victories of these looming personalities. Famous scientists have now become so well known that they're often dinner table conversation topics. And everyone is aware of the work that Einstein, Curie, and Da Vinci have all done. But what about those scientists whose contributions are less well known? What lessons can we learn from them? I want to take this moment to talk to you about one of these unsung pioneers, the unfortunate Carl Wilhelm Scheele. Carl Scheele was an exceptional chemist. He was the 7th of 11 children to a bankrupt merchant and his wife, who lived in a town by the Baltic Sea. Back in the 1700s, that was. He actually, through an unfortunate, tragic series of events, inherited his brother's position as an apprentice apothecary. And he didn't actually enjoy science whatsoever, and he didn't actually enjoy schoolwork whatsoever. But he did actually start to really put himself into experimentation and became a very, very diligent student. So much so, his mentor actually wrote back to his parents, expressing real concern that this Carl Scheele was going to harm himself because he was working so hard late into the nights investigating advanced textbooks. I'm sure any of you who are parents here would dream to get that kind of letter back. Carl Scheele was a fantastic experimentalist. In fact, so much so that he didn't believe anything anyone told him unless he had personally tested it himself. He racked up over 20,000 experiments, which any chemist or other scientist in the room can appreciate is a fairly impressive achievement. That led to some really incredible discoveries. In his works on fats and oils, he discovered something he called fat sweetness. Now, we now know this as glycerol, and it's a fundamental component of soaps, of baking, and even cough syrup as well. He also discovered a pigment, which has become rife with international speculation, a livid green arsenic-containing paint, which adorns the walls of Napoleon Bonaparte's prison on St. Helena. He sounds fairly fortunate so far, doesn't he? A very successful chap. Now, these discoveries pale into insignificance compared to his greatest discovery. He actually discovered the fundamental element responsible for life, oxygen. Now, unfortunately, he didn't get the credit because his co-author actually spent 2 years writing the introduction to the book. So someone else beat him to it, an Englishman, Joseph Priestley. He didn't give up, he carried on working, he discovered another element, chlorine. That kick-started an industrial revolution in chemical engineering, but again, didn't get the credit. So Humphrey Davy managed to get that one. Now, what makes his discovery so truly astounding was the way he actually found them out. He didn't have access to university equipment or the advanced instruments that we use today. He actually had to rely on what he could find in the basic apothecary's office. So he actually based his research on his 5 senses. He would look at every compound he had. He would listen when he reacted with something else. He'd even taste everything he made. Yeah. Unfortunately, he died very young of lead poisoning, yeah, arsenic poisoning, mercury poisoning, cyanide poisoning, hydrofluoric acid poisoning. Not a nice cocktail. But he did have access to other ways of identifying the world around him. And I'm going to show you a couple of them. These are quite classic chemistry demonstrations, which I take out to schools quite a lot because I think they're fantastic. First off, he can burn his compounds. He could have burned his compounds to find out what's inside them. We've been doing this for years. In here, clear solution, could be anything. Could be water, this time in the evening, I kind of hope it's alcohol, but could be anything. What we're going to do, safety is also very important, is we're going to set fire to it. What we get is a fantastic crimson flame. Now the chemist amongst you should know straight away what that is. Anyone tell me? Strontium, fantastic, good, well done. The next one, a green liquid. This could be anything. Students often tell me it's washing up liquids. We'll find out. Just check it's working first. Very, very important. Yep, good. This could be anything. We'll burn it and find out. This is a fantastic green flame, which could be one of two metals, either barium or copper. If it's barium, it's all fully entitled to sue me because it's very toxic and you just inhale it. It's not. It's copper. Colour can also be used as a chemical indicator as well. Scheele would have used this greatly to his advantage. One example, which you should all recognise from pre-GCSE science, is this. Green stuff. That tells you vital information. This shows you that this solution is neutral, pH 7. What we can do is we can add one of my absolute favourite compounds to this, one you should all be familiar with, which is solid carbon dioxide, dryness, to this, and make some observations. Now, as you see, the dry ice bubbles through, and we see a colour change. Hopefully you should all see it's now gone purple, because I've cheated. I put a very strong alkali inside there. That's always about cheating with science sometimes. Keep on adding the dry ice, and you'll see as more and more bubbles of carbon dioxide travel through this tube, it changes colour. That's because we're forming carbonic acid, and our chemical indicator is showing us, as you can see now, it's gone much more acidic. So, despite Scheele not having access to the advanced instruments that we have today, he can still teach us several very important lessons. Firstly, always know what you're eating. Very important. And secondly, and this is very important for the rest of our slammers this evening, tell everyone about your research so you get the credit. Very, very important. That's all we have time for. Hopefully enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much.